Thank you for joining Effortless Attraction. My name is Evelyn McAleer. I'm the author of A Life You Want, Effortless, and The Woman's Journey. I'm a life coach, business mentor, and inspirational speaker. And my greatest value is making a difference in people's lives. So I hope through these podcasts I can make a difference to your life. A little bit more information before we pop on over to the podcast. So we're currently residing in the stunning province of Almeria in the south of Spain. As an extension of my mentoring and life coaching services, I'm now offering 4-night retreats tailored for women who are ready to prioritise themselves. So if you're a woman and you're interested in spending quality time with myself and 2 other participants, please visit my website for more details. Additionally, for business leaders and coaches who wish to have their own retreat here in Spain with their clients, I handle all of your logistics, including airport transfers, accommodation and meals for your group. If you'd like to request a retreat proposal, kindly send me an email. You'll get all of my contact information in the description below. Thank you.
Effortless Attraction podcast is sponsored by Colette Leeson Interview and Career Coaching. If you dream of landing your ideal job, consider Colette's services. With a success rate exceeding 90% among her interview clients, Colette offers personalized career guidance and interview coaching discreetly, both online and in person. She also conducts workshops and provides career advice talks. For further details, visit ColetteLeeson.com.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on another Effortless Attraction podcast. You'll get Effortless Attraction on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, and all other major podcast platforms. Today, I'm always saying I'm excited, but I'm really excited today. And I'm deeply honored because I'm her first podcast interviewer. Her name is Sam Ritchie. Sam is a space clearing specialist. She's a certified angel guide, certified angel card master. She's always been able to see and communicate with the spirit world and has been space clearing for around 25 years. And she also offers past life regression. Her aim is to help people to live a happy, connected, and guided life. Well, I am deeply honored, Sam, and here's the wonderful thing, when we say everything in divine timing, doesn't it turn out, this woman only lives 5 minutes down what we call the Rambla from myself here in Andalusia or in Almeria. So Sam, you're very much welcome today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. It's exciting for me too, and lovely to meet you as we are neighbours.
That's right. Isn't that so ironic? Like, this is the first time we're actually getting to see other. I know we're doing this by technology, but we will get to see other, I'm quite sure, in the human form very, very soon. But it's just amazing, isn't it, what one day and the next day all brings. But today we have rain here in Spain, so we thought we'll be productive, proactive, a bit of positivity and a bit of good energy. Sam, yeah, there's a whole lot there, and it's really exciting because I do love about talking about energy and about spirituality. Can I start off with, you say on your website that you've always been able to see and communicate with the spirit world. Can you talk us through a wee bit about that?
Yeah, well, I'm told even as a baby, I would look past people. And as a child, the human element of life was terrifying. If the doorbell rang, I would run up the stairs and hide. And it was almost like growing up, being able to see the past and the present not really being there. So it took me a lot of years and a lot of heartache, really, to get to the point where I realized, hang on a minute, what I'm seeing as being real is not what everyone else is experiencing. And it wasn't until I was probably in my early 20s that someone said, not everyone can see these other people, right? And I really had no clue. It turns out that both my parents were able to see as well. But my mum was terrified. So it wasn't until her death that my dad told me he could too. So I grew up in this world where nothing really that everyone else thought was real didn't appear real to me.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a strange childhood.
It excites me and I'm so intrigued. I'm like, oh, where to go next? Where to go next? But when you said there what you were seeing, not others were seeing, could you clarify to me when you say that you see spirit, were you actually seeing like form that you thought they were real people?
Yeah, yeah. I was literally seeing form. I would be where I grew up in the UK, we were really close to like where highwaymen were very active. And so driving along a road, I would see the people hanging on the trees,
Oh, wow. Oh,
which
gosh.
is terrifying, but it was normal for me. It
Oh,
was
my.
just
Oh,
seemed normal.
Sam. Well, I'm actually now intrigued. Now that we're living 5 minutes apart, I'm thinking this is a good omen. She is in contact with spirits, so this must be a good area to hang out or to live.
Yeah, well, as you know, I run spiritual circles, and a lot of my people actually live on or around this rambler.
Yeah. Well, that's the prices of houses have now gone up. Only good spirits come here.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm not moving, so that's fine.
Wow. So intrigued. So let's go. You do space clearing. Now, I thought, how fabulous is this? And energy is energy. Even though sometimes we cannot see the energy, you feel. I am
Yeah,
quite sure whenever you were going to buy your house, as we did here, it's a feeling that you get
yeah.
when you go to some road. But with your space clearing, how does it benefit houses? I did read there that if houses haven't been sold for quite a while, if they're sitting on the market.
Yeah, yeah. So the benefits are huge and beyond what I could even think of. My background, I lived in London and I was an estate agent, and I could always sell the properties that no one else could sell. And it wasn't until I met someone later on after I had my children, she said, well, you're space clearing. And I'm like, no, what's space clearing? And so then I started practicing it as a ritual and space clearing our house. And I got loads of information. We had bought this, well, we rented this council house. So we had no real say in it. And it was full of stuff. And I could see all of the heartache that was in that home. Moving forward, as I started to do it to help people get rid of strange noises, strange smells. If someone would just mention, I'd go, oh, come and space clear that and get rid of that for you. And now it's part of my business. And I've had houses sell in 24 hours that have been on the market for 3 years. No reason why they weren't selling apart from there was something in there. A friend of mine moved into a flat that had a horrendous damp problem that had been hidden, and the cause of it was a water leak, but no one would take responsibility. The previous owner, the insurance company, the management company, because it was a flat, no one would take any responsibility. Within 24 hours, they all said, yeah, we'll help, we'll help. Um, Businesses, I've got one guy I work with on a monthly basis just to help keep his business going in the right direction. So we use Oracle cards for that, as well as the space clearing of his businesses every month. So yeah, it's immense what
I don't know
space
what it
clearing
is
can
now that
do.
I'm sitting listening to you, and quite possibly, it could be the whole energy thing. I'm feeling quite actually emotion around my eyes. I'm feeling a lot of emotion. I don't know
Yeah,
whether I want to cry, but not sad cry.
yeah, it's amazing what energy can do, and what trapped energy and entities as well can
Hmm.
do. I had one woman came to me because her niece was being bullied terribly at school. I space cleared her flat and the problems went away. Now, obviously, you can't guarantee that the problems will go away, but 9 times out of 10, they do.
Wow. It's all fascinating. I just love it. Certified angel guide. Is that different then? So the angel guide and the cards, are they separate?
No, it's basically the same thing, just a different certificate. So that's work I've done with Kyle Gray. So I've taken all of his oracle card reading courses and his channeling courses to get to that point. So I am actually on Carl Gray's website as well, the first and only person in Spain.
Oh, there you go. And she only lives 5 minutes down the road from me. I have a group of ladies called the Purple Roses, and I know when they listen to this podcast, they'll be like, please get her on as our monthly guest speaker.
I'd love to. I always say yes. My cards are always saying just say yes to everything. So I say yes to most things I say yes to.
Is your work, can it be online or does it have to be in person?
Yeah, no, I do. I can space clear now from just a floor plan. So the guy I work with monthlies in the UK. I have other clients that I work with regular basis in the UK, as well as all over Spain. Yeah, don't think there's any other countries at the moment that
That's
I work
plenty.
with. Yeah, so
But
I draw out a very basic plan of the house,
yes.
and then I work from home on it.
And when you said there a few moments ago about there's a guy you work with every month to help him move forward with his business by doing your cards, not simply by doing the cards. How does that work, Sam?
So I space clear one property a month for him, or I do a oracle card reading for him. I've been working with him for nearly a year now, and his business, he's opened new plants. His business structure, he was having serious staffing problems. He's resolved all of those issues now. And he's really moving forward. It's quite remarkable, actually. I space cleared his property yesterday and I was like, oh my God, it's like night and day from when I started.
But that's quite all interesting. So you work with business people. So uh do they have to have a building or can they be working from home
No,
or
I've worked with a guy who works from home and I space cleared his property to help enhance his business, and he works from home.
fabulous? Well, there you go. Business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs. There's the woman for you. Like, I clear this place out. Oh, amazing. I'm going to go back. I really want, I'm so interested in hearing about that you see and hear and speak to spirit. Now, I am just going to put myself out there. I don't know whether you have to be in a certain space, place yourself, and how we're connecting is through technology. Do
Yeah,
you see, hear, or feel anything around me?
not at the moment.
Oh,
Not at the
I'm
moment.
actually kind of relieved.
When I'm reading cards, and I do it online as well as in person, I have actually done it with just a name and doing videos. When I'm doing that, I often get people bobbing to say hello and give me loads of information. When I'm doing the space clearing, I get a lot of historical information about the houses and the previous owners or people that have lived there. As a rule, when I'm just chatting like this, I don't tend to get people bobbing. But having said that, they do sometimes.
So is there an on-off switch for yourself? Can you say, hold on now, step aside. I'm going to do a podcast here. Don't need no interference.
Yeah, there really is, especially when I'm out and about, because if I'm going into places that I've not been to before, there can be times when, if I go into a church, for example, depending where it is, where they just sort of fly at me and it's like, no. So yeah, I do have a very strong spiritual bubble that I place myself in.
To
And
protect yourself.
yeah, and because I work so closely with the angels, if things are really heavy, then they put themselves in like a ring around me and I can see them. I can see them there stopping anything coming in.
What do they look like?
To me, now I've realized, because I was terrified of seeing angels. I was terrified. I thought they were going to be 8 foot tall beings and just really overshadow you and look over down on you. How I see them and what I've realized is they show up in a way that doesn't scare you and that comforts you. So how I see them is almost like the Christmas cardboards cutouts you used to do when you were at school, of angels.
Oh, yes.
You know, when like a chain, where they're
Yes,
holding hands. That's
yes.
how I see them, but really bright normally, or they show themselves as a really bright light, but they're always that sort of silhouette of an angel.
Fabulous. Well, say for example, you're going down to Mercadona, the supermarket, and you're just heading down the aisle with your trolley. Can you see auras from people? Think, oh, I'll avoid that aisle.
Uh, sometimes. Normally it's buildings. I see the auras of buildings more than I do of people. But yes, sometimes I do see the auras of people.
You are the first person that I have heard say, I can see auras of buildings.
Yeah, I think it's a strange thing.
Fascinating. Well, it's full of energy, really, isn't it? And I'm sure, like these houses that we live in, I don't know what your house is like, Sam, but I know the original people that lived here. And I know in this particular area as well, I was so surprised when I read that, Spain was a third world country up until 60 years ago. So there's quite a lot of poverty,
Oh, there
and
is.
hardship in the country. But I do feel I must get you down to the house actually sometime, because I do feel that there was songs and singing, and we have been very blessed to meet and have become a very good friend of which would have been the grandson that grew up now. He's in his 70s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but I remember when I met him way back when we came here, and he said, "You bought my grandmother's house." He said the house made him sad. And I thought, I can't be having this now that the house makes a man sad. So he had never been to it in 50 odd years, and he only lives down in Puerto Rico. So himself and his wife, he invited them up. And my thing was, are you happy? So every time he comes, are you happy? And he's
Yeah.
so happy. And that makes me so happy.
Yeah. You're very lucky because my house is about 300 years old. So
Wow.
I have no idea who the Spanish owners were or any
Mhm.
way of tracing them.
And what have you then? Have you seen anybody in the house? Spirits?
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. But they do follow us as well because we've lived in new builds. And my kids have been like, why are there so many visitors here, Mum, when it's a new build? And it's like, oh, they've just come to see us. But yeah, here we had well, he's still about occasionally. None of them are stuck. So a stuck spirit is one that is not able to move on. They're all visiting. So that's fine. Visiting spirits are fine as long as they're
Yes.
not troublesome. Stuck ones are troublesome and it's not good for them either. So we moved them on. But we have a little girl who sometimes, when my kids were younger, was here more. And we have an old man as well. And
It'll
then
be interesting to find out the
obviously all my
history.
relatives as well pop
Yeah.
over every now and again. My granny, I inherited a clock from her, and if I don't wind it up, she moves the plates on my dresser.
Oh my goodness.
I'm like, okay, granny, I'll wind it up. It's fine.
Oh, I think it's brilliant. I love it. I love it. So if someone wanted to reach out to contact you, they can have card readings done. They
Yeah,
can ask you about their house, and if they need clearing done to take it from there. They can do that all online, Sam. And I'm going
yep,
to give out, I will put the details in the description below. It's samangelguide.com, and a lovely introductory video with herself on it. I watched it the other day. I like to connect too to people because I was going to join up with one of Sam's spiritual circles, which they do meditation. I thought that's for me, and sure, couldn't believe it. Only down the road, only down the lane. Tell me about this now. I know one friend that had it done once upon a time. Past life regressions.
yeah.
I don't know whether I'd be scared to do that or not, but anyway, tell us about it.
Okay, so how I do it is probably not quite the same as how other people do it. When it's basically you get in a deep meditative state. You are always safe. I'm not going to let you go anywhere that's not safe. And it's almost like you're observing rather than going back into those painful experiences. But I'm not sure that everyone who does past life regressions can see what you're seeing, but when we do it, I can see what you can see. So I can guide you as to, look to the left, what do you see there? And things like that. And it's a total safe space. And because I work so closely with the angels, we put it out there that it's only for the greatest good of all. And it's everything I do is with the help of the angels, and everything I do is for the greatest good of all. So if it isn't going to serve you to go back to a lifetime, you're not going there.
Mm.
It's only if there's a lesson there for you or something that needs healing that you've carried forward to this lifetime that you'll be able to go there. You wouldn't be able to go there otherwise.
Have you been able to do it for yourself, or does someone have to do it for you?
No, I have done it with someone else for me, which was a very interesting experience.
And can you share one of your past lives?
I'm strange, as you've probably noticed, and I have past life memory anyway, which is unusual. So do my kids. But when I did past life regression, I was taken to a lifetime where I was a witch, which is not the first past life where I was a witch, which is no great surprise because I have past life memory of 2 others where I was a witch. She also took me to very, very briefly where I was a soldier in the First World War and a soldier in the Second World War. So all of my natural recall for past lives, I've been a woman and a witch. But this lady was like, and what other past lives? Since then, they all started coming to the surface. So yeah, it's a fascinating and fantastic thing to do.
You spoke about your children. Have they now got the gift of what your parents had, what you had, been able to witness?
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. My eldest is a bit more reserved about it, but if she's ever got a question, it's like, Mum, pull me a card. My youngest does come to the circles I run, and she's also does every time she wants a question asked, it's like, Mum, pull a card. She's got her own cards, but she's like, you're better at it than me, which isn't true. But yeah, they both do. They both do.
Brilliant. Love it. How long have you been living now in Spain?
Coming up 18 years.
Wow. ¿Y cómo es tu español?
Es muy bien. Well, regular.
And
Regular.
Spirit talks in any language, I'm quite sure.
Yeah, no, it's really interesting. I was space clearing a hotel, and they have a gatekeeper, which I'd never come across before. It's just basically someone who's looking after the whole area. And she told me her name was Rose. I was like, hang on a minute, but you're Spanish. She said, yeah, but I'm telling you in a language you can understand. It's like, I can understand Rosa.
Mhm.
So yeah, they always communicate in the easiest way for you to understand.
Yeah. Brilliant. So yeah, you made the big flit 18 years ago. Even that in itself, coming over to start a new life. You had young kids, I take it,
Yeah,
Sam, at that
yeah,
stage.
yeah. They were 4 and 5.
And they went to school in
Yeah.
the neighboring place. Would there be any thoughts of Spain's done? I think I'll go back to the UK.
No, 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 no. I'm not going back. So, Spain. As a kid, we used to come to Mahaca, and that was when there was a single road to Almeria Airport where you could see the cars at the bottom of the cliff. There was a dirt track to Touré, which was where we used to stay. And every time we went home, I would cry the whole way home. And I was quite an easy child because I was scared of everything. Um, but Spain is where my heart is. Spain has always been where my heart is. There's absolutely no way I cannot imagine myself living anywhere else.
Well, my job here is done. I'm off. My heart is full. I really have enjoyed this and have had a smile on my face from we have started, Sam, to Ian. And I am so honored. I'm deeply honored that I've been able to have this podcast with yourself. And you never know who gets an opportunity to listen to this. Effortless Attraction is all about making a difference for the better in people's lives. And it'll be no strange or weird one that I have somebody on that connects us. The spirit, they'll be like, well, sure, that's what we expect, Evelyn. So, Sam, I will put your details in the description below if anyone would like to jump on to your website. You're also on Facebook.
Yep.
And Instagram, where I've connected to you. And I want to say thank you so much. And this will be the first of many meetings, I'm sure.
Thank you. Yeah, I hope so.
And have a wonderful day. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to another podcast.